you have a problem figuring out when you're...
Hello, and welcome to the stream. Happy Tuesday. Tonight I have apaull on the stream with me. Welcome.
Thanks so much for having me on again, Kate. It's great to be here. So yeah, thanks.
You're welcome. It's great to have you back. And he's back tonight with a new setup, a live setup.
Yeah, no, a brand new live setup. I mean, obviously I DJ as well, but I do produce quite a bit. So I kind of thought I want to start playing my stuff out live because I do have a fairly decent-sized catalog. So I've kind of switched this APC 40, which we can talk about at length or not at all, depending on how boring the audience thinks that is. But I've got everything kind of set up there, and it gives me multi-track sort of functionality and yeah, just an interesting way of performing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to checking it out. And and we're going to hear his new album tonight. So first I've got a few questions, and then we will get into the music. So I'll first give a little intro to you to let everybody know a little bit about you. So apaull is a Dutch-Canadian electronic producer, live performer, and DJ based in London, Ontario, with over 40 releases, including 3 albums on his Furnace Room record label. He's built a strong presence in the underground scene. His music has earned over 1 million streams and support from artists like Dave Clarke. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Yeah, and he's performed across Canada, the UK, and Amsterdam. I've seen him in Amsterdam. It was great.
I've seen you in Amsterdam, so yeah.
We support each other. His latest album, Gun Factor, dropped April 24th. So this year, it dropped last Friday, and you're going to hear it tonight on the stream. So welcome.
Thank you very much. Yeah, no, super excited, about all that. Super excited about the release of the new album. These things are a bit of like climbing a big mountain. So it's kind of nice when it's finished. Although when it's finished and released, like it's still not finished.
No, there's always things that you like want to.
Please listen, or something.
Yeah, for sure. And we have it right behind us too.
Yeah. No, that's
part of the wall setup
now. That's the cover. Photo by Dave Clarke.
Yeah.
The Baron of Techno. So yeah, no, I thought I'd bring that by as a bit of a backdrop.
Yeah, it was perfect for the stream. So my first question for you is, I know most people that I have on the stream have started out as a DJ, but you actually started out as a producer. Is that correct?
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, so, I'm a writer and producer. So when I kind of got into all of this, it was kind of like, hey, I want to write songs, something I wanted to do for a really long time. I've had a long career doing something else, and opportunity, presented itself where I had a lot more time. So I just really sunk my teeth into learning songwriting and production. And then at one point, I have a bit of a team that I work with, but Dave UK, who I work with in New York, sort of suggested, hey, maybe you should DJ or something, or play out as well. But certainly when I started, I didn't even conceive that I needed to do that. I just, maybe it was a big dose of wishful thinking. Well, you'll write a bunch of stuff, and then all of a sudden DJs are just going to gravitate to that immediately and start playing.
Well, they will, and they have.
Yeah, no, totally.
More.
But you kind of got to get yourself out of the proverbial basement and
for sure. Like furnace room, the furnace room.
The furnace room, exactly. You got to get yourself out of the furnace room and in front of some people so they can kind of see what it is and make some connection, because it's difficult to make a connection with a dude that's hanging out in a figurative basement,
That makes sense. So I guess how did you get it? Why and how did you get into producing? What really motivated you for that?
Well, I have been wanting to write songs for a very long time. So I have a sort of very long sequence in my life where, I've been an environmental scientist, and I've sort of built a career in a company out of all that, eventually sold that company. And as soon as I sold that, it was like, hey, now I have some time to do what I've wanted to do for a long time.
The fun things.
Yeah, no, totally. So I come from a fairly musical household. My father was a professional musician. He played saxophone in a Canadian military band
I did not know that.
for 30 years.
That is
Fun
so
fact.
cool.
And
Fun
my
fact.
mom's a self-taught piano player. My brother played stuff too. So I come from a very musical household, but just supporting yourself through university and then try to build a career. Oh, and I was playing piano and drums, but drums later. So
Okay.
back in those days, hauling like a drum kit around is like heavy and bulky and like not
Yeah.
neighbor friendly at all.
Yeah,
Like
no.
I mean, who wants a neighbor with a drum kit in his in his bedroom? Like no one. So anyway, that sort of
It's
fell
true.
off by the wayside, but it was always kind of there.
Yeah.
Right, and I do have a fairly strong artistic side. So sort of in the meantime, I actually paint as well. I do watercolor painting, so I did that for 25 years, kind of at more of a hobbyist
Wow.
level when I had some time, sort of between running my business and so on. So when I sold my business in May of almost 7 years ago today, on the 1st of May 2019, then it was just like, okay, now I have some more time. I have no more employees. I still have to do environmental science stuff, but I have this time to do that.
And then COVID hit too, and you had extra time.
Well, COVID was certainly like the bonus in all of this, right? So I
Yeah.
kind of like, May 2019 kind of started, but it was like March of 2020. It was like, whoa, lockdown. And it's just like, I'm a bit of a hermit anyway. So
Yeah.
like the fact that I don't actually need to go out and socialize was like, wow, this is like fantastic. This is sanctioned like sort of hermit, right? And so COVID was this like really great time to kind of sink your teeth into things. So I started taking courses from a New York school called 343 Labs. And they had these great online courses for Ableton, which is the software, that I
You're
use
still using tonight.
that I'm still using tonight. The software
Yeah.
that I use to write tracks, but learning how to use Ableton, design and synthesis, like learning how to create your own sounds, mixing and mastering. That design and synthesis course I took from a guy named John Selway. I've taken that one like 3 times, the same course, because A, he's so good, and B, there's just like so much to learn, So COVID was
interesting.
this,
Okay, send me that. Send me the link to that.
yeah. So COVID was this great time, right? And I took full advantage of it. And I'm a pretty motivated guy anyway. I like to finish
Definitely.
things, and I like to, do things with them. And so, yeah, I totally took advantage of that COVID time to at least get the ball rolling, because as you will know, there's like steep learning curves
Oh
in
yeah,
all of this,
definitely.
very steep.
Definitely.
Like learning how to do the stuff, and then it's like, okay, now I got this thing, and now I need to
There's
mix
layers.
it,
Now there's layers to everything.
mix it, and then okay, maybe I need to
Yeah.
master it, and then now I need to market it. So
Yeah.
it's just like this really lots, but these are learning curves that I really relish and that I really enjoy and that I really
Yeah.
thrive in.
It's like a second career kind of for you. It's like
Well, I look
A
at it.
little bit,
I look
yeah.
at this much different than I did painting. So painting,
Yeah.
I did at a hobbyist level. I mean, I've done it for
Yeah.
a long time.
Hey, would you ever think that you would have your record covers with like some of your paintings? Is that ever something?
So my
that-
first record cover, Fought
Yeah.
and Won, did have one of my
Oh,
paintings on the
that's cool.
front. Fun
Okay.
fact, secret fact. So, and I was meeting with someone yesterday who, in New York, and he was saying, "Oh, I hear you paint and stuff like that. You should maybe start incorporating a bit more of that with your work to
I
try
think
to."
That's cool. If you
tag-
still like doing that.
Oh,
you know.
oh, I totally like doing it, but I
Yeah.
actually put it aside because I thought, this music thing, I want to look at a really sort of professional level.
Yeah.
And not to disparage what I did more at the hobbyist or like
Sure.
non-professional level, but I
Yeah.
wanted to make a clean break from creating art in that way and really sort of focus on this. I've been at this now for 5, coming up to 6 years. So, that meeting that I had yesterday, it was just like, he said, yeah, you know what, try it because like it's about trying to create
Yeah.
an avatar or something for yourself, something that makes you interesting to the potential audience. And so whatever sort of hook is like, oh, he's like,
And authentic.
he's an
It's
old
it's
dude who does
authentic.
music. Okay, so that's probably not that interesting. Maybe an old dude that does music. Oh, and he paints as well, and he does some other stuff. So you try to
Yeah.
create what you can out of yourself.
Hey, speaking of that, I wonder if do you have anything from your dad that, like, any pieces of him playing anything? How wouldn't that be? Have you ever incorporated anything from him?
That's a really interesting question. The short answer is no, I don't. But I do know that there are some vinyl records of him playing in this concert band. So it was like a Canadian military concert band. So when I was a kid, so he used to do changing of the guards in Ottawa.
Yeah.
And so as a kid, as an 8-year-old, I'd run around Ottawa and sort of follow the band to Parliament Hill, where they would go and play. So like sampling some of that, and I'm a big sampler anyway. So something to think about.
It's an idea,
and something that I would totally do. I guess it would be isolating the right sound. I don't have any recordings of him just playing saxophone, so I'd have to listen to some stuff.
Yeah. Well, the ideas. So you've had a lot of experience in this last 7 years, and I feel like, tried and tested a bunch of things. What are some of the biggest things that you've learned in this time?
That the pursuit for excellence transcends everything that you want to be excellent at. So like initially I thought, oh, I'm doing this music thing. It's this, really separate silo. And in many ways it is, but it's like, working towards trying to be excellent at it, as it turns out, you need to use the same sort of attributes or things that you would use for being good at, like whatever. So my environmental science business, sort of building that. So that's like consistency. So I work at this every day, like literally.
This makes a lot of sense. This seems like great advice.
Right? I work at it every day. I'm always producing something. I'm now at the point where I have what I would call a funnel of music. So I'm popping out.
You said 16
like a new
tracks ready to go.
I have another 16 tracks ready to go. So I have this funnel of music, and I like to finish stuff. So I don't have a lot of folders of unfinished music.
That's actually impressive. I feel like there's so many people, myself included, that have so many unfinished things.
Well, now what I'm doing, because like at one point, I work with my producer Abe, and I gave him, this was like 4 or 5 years ago before I started releasing, I gave him all the tracks that I had, and he divided them into 2 piles. One was called The Good Shit, and the other one was called, it wasn't called anything else. It just it didn't have it didn't have a name. So like all,
it was like maybe another time.
All the good shit got released, but then I started going back to this other material, some of these other songs that I'd worked on and finished. And now with sort of 5 years of experience, kind of go in there, with additional technical expertise and whatever. And now I'm going back in and I'm polishing some of those older tracks and again, sort of, so, but back to your question, it really is about consistency, doing what you do every day, just, it's like drinking from a fire hose sometimes, but like learning from wherever you can learn. So I surround myself with lots of people, and I try to be I try to network in ways that allow me to learn from people. That's why, for instance, I work with a lot of remixers. So
I remember you talking about this when we were in Amsterdam. You were talking about working with remixers. And
So my path was, I want to write songs. Okay, so who is this apaull guy? And I wasn't really in the mood to, I don't mind no's because you get them all the time, but I didn't want to spend 2 years trying to find a label. So that's why I created my own label. And labels are, validation and a defined audience, right? So the label has a reputation, and then it has an audience that likes their stuff. Great, right? So my pathway to that is working with established artists, paying them fairly, and tapping into their audiences that way. So just a different
approach.
It's just a different approach.
That's
Now I'm actually starting to look at labels a bit more, or my team is sort of saying, hey, maybe go find some labels. And now at least I feel like, well, I've got a catalog of 40 releases. Like I'm pushing like 100 tracks of stuff that I have out there. I mean,
and 3 distinct albums?
3 distinct albums and a remix album, 5 EPs, and then just a bunch of like maxi singles and things like that. So it's just about, and I have I have a pretty good drive, and so it's just this drive and consistency. You just gotta do it. You gotta do it.
Yeah, obviously you are loving it though, or
totally.
I would assume you wouldn't continue doing it. So it must be a passion as well.
It's absolutely a passion. So you get to create art, and I mean, I view this as creating art, and that's what I'm interested in. And I've divested myself of a couple of ideas. In the beginning, it's kind of like, oh, will you play my song? Oh, will you listen to my song? Like, you're always asking people to do things, and that's fine. But now it's kind of like, and when I say like I don't care, like I do, but like on some levels, like I like what I produce. I like my music, and I don't care if other people don't like it. And when I say that, of course, like I really want people to like it, but I want to find the right people to like it. So it's really about, it comes down to audience building. So I create this stuff. Maybe nobody likes it, but I like it. And you know what? If that was all, that would, well, you know, that wouldn't be okay, because I want more than that. But I could live with it, because at least I'm proud of what I produce. And I produce for me, like first, like I have to like it. It's got to go through my sort of filter before I sort of push it out into the world, and then I hope other people will listen to it. But I don't worry so much about people not liking it. I just try to figure out, how can I find the audience that will like it and will enjoy it.
I think that's smart. I think that's a very authentic approach, and like it kind of sets that approach sets electronic music sometimes apart, well, and indie and everything like that, from the bigger music industry, where artists are kind of trying to reach out to like it's just something more popular, right? Versus making the art for yourself that you like, and then putting it out there, and you know, trying to help the audience find you, trying to help the people find you. But
you know, I mean, there's different approaches. So the one thing that I don't do is I don't reverse engineer anything. So I notionally write techno, but it's just like, I don't know, you know, sometimes, some days I don't think it is, but I don't.
I feel like there's a lot of versions of techno out there.
Right. But I don't reverse engineer, and I'm not, you know, people just have to take their own approaches to things. So everything's very, you know, it is very organically generated and very organically, you know, created. What I do focus on is making sure that the production values are top notch and professional. So the last thing I would ever want to hear someone say is, oh, this is poorly produced, right? There's no excuse for that.
Quality. You want quality.
If people like the art or don't like the art, it's okay, but I never want to hear that. So I really focus on, you know, bottom up organic creation of tracks and you know, professional mixing. I mean, I do all my own mixing, but because I've worked with this professional mixer for the last 5 years, I do send it out to be mastered, because I think somebody else does need to take a look at it.
I think that's kind of my perspective too. You can do a DJ master for something that you want to play like before, like just play out or something if you're testing it. But I think having someone mastered, having someone else's ears on it, I think is always a good. From my perspective.
So this process that I take with my executive producer, Abe, is I'll work up a track. I'll play it to, you know, for him before it's mixed, to kind of work out any technical kinks. We have this very defined relationship. The art is on me. He provides me advice on the technical stuff. And then once it's kind of where I want it to be, then I will mix it. And then it'll go through one or two passes of him to make sure that, hey, you know what about the kick, or what about the this, what about the that, and try to get this thing so it sounds good, cohesive, and also that there's continuity between your various tracks. So not, you know, I'd like there to be an apaull sound. What that is exactly, I don't know. There are various components in my tracks that are common, but you do want to try to create a body of work that doesn't, you know, you don't want to write the same song.
No, you don't want it to all sound the same, but I get it.
But you want some
continuity.
You know, oh, okay, you know, this sounds like an apaull track.
Yeah.
This sounds like a whatever.
Exactly. If someone just heard it, they're like, oh, that sounds like apaull. Yeah. Definitely.
That's the hope.
Yeah. And so we were talking before, you've recently started doing live set. So you've got the live set up for tonight.
Yeah.
And you're taking this with you when you go to the UK?
Yeah, I am opening for Dave Clarke on the 15th of May in Brighton. And it's a City Walls Records event. I did a 2-week tour in the UK last year, so the same promoter and same artist that I worked with last year is putting this on. So I'm really excited about you know, being able to do that.
Yeah,
I've been working on this set since like January.
Yeah.
It does take a bit of time, even though it's all your own stuff. You think, oh, you know, it's just a bunch of buttons, but it's more than just a bunch of buttons.
Definitely.
So
it's a lot of work.
Really excited to be able, and they were excited too, because again, it's a night of DJs, and that's great. But just they have a couple of live performers, so it just provides different entertainment.
Yeah.
It's a different way of entertaining. So really excited about being able to go do that.
Awesome. Well, excited for you because that's a great opportunity. So we're almost to the end of our time for the interview portion. So I just want to know, is there anything else that you want to talk about, or you want to let people know about?
Well, I could probably talk all night. That's a bit of a problem. That's a bit of a loosey-goosey ended question there.
Okay, I'll cut you off if needed.
But yeah, no. I mean, like totally. Well, first of all, thank you for this opportunity to play. Like, I'm always like really, grateful for any opportunities and support. And I guess all I would say is, if you get a chance. Give the Gun Factor album a listen. It's 10 tracks. It's really about fame, pathways towards fame and infamy. Fame being, something that you derive through exceptional talent. Infamy, not necessarily, could be, achieved through violence. So I put that all together, and the Gun Factor, that's sort of the English, but the actual titles in Dutch is Gun Factor, which loosely means it factor. So I was meeting with this booking agent in Amsterdam, just because I go have coffees with people, just to pick people's brains. And she said, you need to have good quality stuff, and you need to have the Gun Factor. You need to have this it factor.
Yeah.
Whatever this is, when somebody sort of coalesces and people blow up, you sort of see it's like, oh, they have something, and then a machine kind of, mysteriously appears behind them to push them along, which is great.
Yeah.
So Gun Factor really sort of explores that, because part of what we do is, even though I said I produce art for myself, but I do want to find an audience, and I would like to achieve some success through that. So have a listen to that album. I've already sort of pre-released 3 singles with remixes. All the album tracks have been remixed, so you'll be seeing some remixes so far. Last month I had a remix from Junior Sanchez. I've already had one from Christian Smith. I've got a guy from Hamburg, Andre Winter, Reese Fulber, who's in the Canadian band. What's the name of the band? Frontline Assembly. Like really like. Yeah. Total OG. So
very cool.
So that's going to be. You've got a year's worth of. I've got a year's worth of releases, just ready to go.
Yeah, so. And then more. You're ready to go. Well, I'm excited to hear Gun Factor tonight. But before we do, I have to get you to sign the wall, because that's a very important step here. So
I'm going to sign the wall.
Needs the little horns for the logo, of course. And I actually already have the apaull sticker already there, so I think I had that from the last time. Okay, so thank you for taking the time to speak with me, and
My
we
pleasure.
will be right back with hearing his new album live. So we'll see you in just a minute.